Hello, everybody. This is going to focus on the research essay, the prompt itself. So I'm going to go here, and I hope you watch the overview video for the week. Please don't skip steps because then I have students emailing me and asking me questions that they could have been answered on the videos. All right, so come on, let's go here. So here you can read this over. In our society, people get caught in cycles of destruction, and what I want you to do is there's a video by Mary J. Blige. It's called No More Drama. It's on the next page. You're going to watch that video and you're going to meet three different people. One is Joyce. I named her Joyce because she's a victim of abuse, and so was my mother for 16 years. And Paul, who is the drug addict. I unfortunately have a friend. Her name is Polly. She cannot. It's been 30 years and she just can't get clean. And then Pelon, obviously, like me, bald. He's a gang member. So, so I gave them these names, and when you refer to the research paper, I want you to refer to them. Sorry about the bird. I want you to refer to them as Joyce, Paul, and Pelon. All right. Now, obviously, in the beginning of your paper, you'll want to say wife abuse, Joyce, Paul. So when you're giving the paper, your readers know. All right. So here you're going to say who you want to decide who can break the cycle more than the others. You only need one pro and you need one con. So let's say Joyce is your pro, and then one of these two would be your con. Even if you think Joyce and Paul could both break free from their cycles of destruction, you need to only choose one, okay? Because this is an argumentative essay. One has to be better than the other, okay? All right, so here I have some questions that you may want to ask yourself to get the juices flowing. And again, here you need a pro and you need a con. And I'm going to show you that in a second. The requirements, the paper must be 8 to 10 pages long, which is about 2,000 words. And that doesn't include the works cited page. And of course, you'll need 8 in-text citations, and they should be from 8 different sources. When you complete your annotated bibliography, I ask you for 10 sources. So you'll use 8 of the 10 that you find in this paper. And then here, an example of formatting the paper. I'll show you that in a second. And then obviously the title of the thesis, and then all topic sentences must be in yellow. Okay, databases. This will make more sense to you once you go over the annotated bibliography. This paper is due Sunday, July 26th. And if you want to work in a group, that's fine with me. Now, what I want to do is I want to go into the requirement, how you have to set it up. This is on a separate page. My computer's running slowly. I apologize. You've seen these models already when you went over the argumentation models. Okay. So here, let's say that your essay and you decide you want to do model A. So you'll have your heading, everything's double spaced, and then you'll have your introduction thesis. You're going to put the title here, and then your introduction to thesis, just like this, centered, and put it in bold. Indent your paragraphs. If you don't indent, that's a huge red flag for AI, which I know none of you are using, right? Okay, anyway. So introduction. So model A is your introduction thesis. All of your models will be starting this way. And then put your thesis, highlight it. And some students are putting all of the sources they're going to use in the introduction. You don't need to do that. Maybe you want to introduce the video in Mary J. Blige because that's setting the scene, but don't put in all 8. Some people do that. I don't understand it. So model A, pro argument 1, I'm going to say Joyce is my pro. So pro 1 would be Joyce can escape her abuse reason number 1. Okay? Don't bring the con in here at all. I'm going to use Paul as my con because it'll make it easier. So pro 1, pro is Joyce. Pro number reason 1, Joyce can break out of her cycle. Try not to bring in Paul. Now, if I bring in Paul, I can do that, but don't make Paul better than Joyce's reason for doing that. We'll wait to do that when we come to the counter argument. So pro argument number 2, second reason Joyce will be able to break free. Pro argument 3, the third reason that she can break free. Now, if you need a pro argument 4 or 5, just add them, okay? Counter argument and refutation, 1, maybe you need 2. This is where you would bring in opposing views claim that Paul can break free more than Joyce can from the cycle, period. And then, of course, you're going to put here. I should have done that. This is the intro, so this would be highlighted in yellow. So Atticus is from a higher, so but I would say opposing views claim that Paul, because he's the opposing the icon. Part two, give evidence for the opposing, give evidence for Paul. Why would some people think Paul has a better chance of breaking free than Joyce does? And remember, it's okay that if you have something really strong that makes Joyce look really weak, we have to concede that. But we don't want to try to hide anything from our readers. Part three, of course, you want to spin it back to or refute back to Joyce. Why is she the better choice? Why is she your pro? And then you want to have a conclusion sentence, and then the last paragraph is the closing. Now, this is if you use model A. And again, you can have pro argument 4 and 5. You can have counter argument refutation 1 and 2. All right, and the paper will be set up like this. Now I'm going to go back to the model page that you guys should have all made a copy of. Let me come here. Argumentation models, opposing, refuting. Oh, I hope I put it on the right one. Okay, I give you clues here. Okay, so here are the models you can use. Look at model A. We just went through that thesis, the introduction and thesis, per argument 1, 2, 3 or more. Then the counter, opposing, or refutation 1, 2, 3. Some people may want to use model B. Start with your intro and your thesis statement. Here you're starting with the counter argument, and then you're going to the pro. Sometimes people want to give the counter and then end on the strong parts of why they think Joyce is. Model C, counter, counter, counter. Now, these are good if you have pro-choice for Joyce and Paul matches up with that, if they're equal. So if you can talk about the same thing. So Paul, refute back to Joyce. Paul, refute that evidence back to Joyce. That may be a good one. And then D is just another way you can do it as well. Counter, 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 and then maybe you want to have a pro-argument and then a closing. All right? So those are the models you choose. Make sure that you format your paper properly. You want to have the heading. You want to have the model, then the intro, and make sure when you do the counter argument paragraph, you use part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I want them all labeled. It may look silly to do that. Obviously, you wouldn't do that in another class, but I want to make sure you know the parts. This is a good learning tool. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, and one last thing is some students do not sometimes put, well, hold on one second. I'm going to do something here. Excuse me. Actually, I think I covered that in the review video. Watch the review video, but you always have to, for my class, if you're quoting me, it would be Howell. And if I have a regular page and you can see it in front of you and it's page 9, it would be Howell 9. You don't put P period, PG period, there's nothing. But if it's a paragraph, then you use PAR period. If it's a section, SEC period. But for my class, you must have an in-text citation for everything. Don't just put Howell and move on. I need to be able to go Howell 8. I'm going to go to the resource, go to page 8, and your quote must match. And if it doesn't, it's a 0. Also, there is no paraphrasing in my class. None, zilch, nada. Paraphrasing is a huge AI red flag. Should you be paraphrasing in the real world? Yes, because a paraphrase is you're taking someone else's direct quote, turning it into your own words. That way it will flow better in your essay. But in my class, because the AI is so bad on campus, no, direct quotes. If you paraphrase, it's a 0. You guys already know this. We've been through the semester. All right, everybody, take care. If you need any help, let me know. Bye.